seat here as the most frequented guest host on the program for the 2020-2021 season. Going into this 2021 year, Peter Schrager is with us as well. Sean O'Hara, are you happy about the Eagles kicking off our show today? Probably not.
Sure, let's bring it. Okay, I woke up at a 3-point stance, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So bring on the birds. I'm ready.
Bring on the Step Brothers. Puns, let's go. Time for Lead Block.
Lead Block.
Lead block.
All right, here we go.
Do it, James
Pivotal
Bond.
season in Philadelphia. Yeah, quarterback Jalen Hurts, all eyes on him and his head coach. Hurts got 4 starts last year. He has something to prove to the Eagles, their fan base, really to the rest of the league. Though he did take care of business against the Saints in a big way. Hurts spoke to the media just yesterday about the team's mentality for 2021.
I think we're all hungry. We're all hungry. I know Schrager is. I know Smitty is. I know that whole entire receiving core is. G. Ward, the whole line. I think everybody's hungry. You know, you kind of trigger something in me. You know, everybody's hungry because we didn't finish what we didn't do what we wanted to do last year. You know, it didn't go the way we wanted it to. Ultimately, in the end, we didn't have the outcome we wanted. So we're very hungry, and you know, we don't plan on missing meals.
I like Jalen Hurts. I like that soundbite. I like that he's hungry. I like that he sounds fiery. Are the Eagles sort of being slept on in the NFC East, Triggs?
Look, I love Jalen Hurts. I love his energy. The question that was posed are they being slept on, and here below me on the screen, so they're the sleeping giants of the entire NFC. Mm-hmm. Not every team can be the team that's going to go to the Super Bowl. I don't see it for the Eagles. I love what Jalen Hurts is saying. I love his energy. I love his spirit. I love that he mentioned Devontae Smith, and he mentioned Jalen Schrager, and he mentioned Greg Ward, because those are 3 really young, unproven receivers. And he says, we're hungry, we're going to do it all. But that's exactly what they are. They're young and they're unproven. And then you've got this mismatch of Brandon Graham and Lane Johnson and these older veterans that are still capable of playing, but maybe their best days were yesterday. So let this be more motivation to them. I don't see the Eagles as one of those teams when we start off August and September of talking about Super Bowl hype, that they're going to be the one that we're talking about. And that's okay. That's okay. Let's see it play out before we crown or give them the respect that they want and that they're looking to earn. Truth of the matter is this. I think this is a transition period for the Philadelphia Eagles. Whether Jalen Hurts believes that or not, it's a different story. And I almost don't want him to even listen to that talk. But look at what they've got over the next few years. And I'm talking about next year. All right, so it says 2 first-round picks next year, but that's not even right. Look at the bottom part here. That's a conditional first-round pick. If Carson Wentz plays 70% of his snaps for the Colts, that's 3 first-round picks for next year. That's crazy. 3 first-round picks in one draft. That's supposed to be a draft that has the combine. That's supposed to be a draft that has pro days. And that's supposed to be a draft that has a real college football season. So my point here, there's 16 teams in the NFC. Not all of them can be favorites. Not all of them can be Super Bowl contenders. And there are very few teams that I am putting below the Eagles as far as expectations for 2022 or 2021. Come at me if you want. They're just too young and there's too many holes on this lineup. And last year did not exactly give me a boost of confidence that they're going to suddenly challenge for a Super Bowl next season.
Peter, like you and probably like Sean and like Kay, I love the competitor Jalen Hurts is. You know, you're not going to outcompete him. And I don't think confidence is ever going to be a problem. What is a problem, in my opinion, for the Eagles is the rest of the division. Dak's back. And by the way, Dan Quinn's going to actually run a really capable defense for the Dallas Cowboys now. You know, the Giants went on an unheard of spending spree because John Mara is tired of not making the playoffs. And this is the year for Daniel Jones. And he has a lot of parts around him. And the Washington football team, all they did was was, to supplement a terrific defense, and especially that rabid defensive line, was go out and get Ryan Fitzpatrick, who may very well still have some Fitz magic left in his, veteran arm and with his leadership. So I think for the Eagles, it's an uphill climb. But guys, I loved the line from Jalen Hurts where he said something along the lines of, the rent's due every month. I don't plan on missing any payments. He delivered that line better than I did, but I loved it.
I mean, I love all those sayings. The rent is due. I love that our producers set up our opening block at the breakfast table here virtually with talking about being hungry, because raise your hand if you're in that company. I think for Jalen, look, the personality that he is bringing to that position, I think is probably refreshing for Eagles fans. And I think it's the personality that they all want and crave out of their starting quarterback. And it's not anything about Carson Wentz, but he was just a different guy. And I think for Jalen, and when you're a quarterback, there's this it factor where people are just gravitating towards you. You are a magnet and you draw them in. And Jalen has that. Now, all of that being said, these highlight films that we're showing, what do they all have in common? Him escaping the pocket. Why? Not just because he wanted to show off his wheels and because he wanted to show off his speed. No, it was because the pocket was non-existent. It was crumbling in front of him. The Eagles quarterbacks combined last year got sacked 65 times. The next closest team was sacked 50 times. So that's 15 more sacks than any other team. So look, Shregs, I'm with you. You laid it all out. Like, I need to see the offensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles, number one, stay healthy, because they have a good group when they're at 100%.
Right.
But we need to see them get those underdog masks back, right? Lane Johnson a couple years ago donned that underdog mask. We're talking about, are they asleep right now? Yeah, wake them up. Put the dog mask back on. Let's see this team get hungry, and let's see them fight back. I think that's what Eagles fans want to see from their group. Enough talking about it all. And then, Shregs, the other thing that I feel like is the sleeping giant with the Eagles is what in the wide world's going on with Zach Ertz? Because at the end of the year, he had this emotional press conference and kind of emotional goodbye. And this has been their best player for the last couple of years. 2 years ago, he had 116 catches as the tight end. I mean, he's been their red zone go-to guy. This guy, to me, should be their number one priority. They cannot let him walk out the door. They can't let the Jalen Hurts' future not be coexisting with Zach Ertz. So I'm curious to see how that all plays out. And to me, Zach Ertz doesn't get enough love for how good Jalen Hurts is going to be and how good this team can be offensively.
I always ask Kyle this question, Sean, since you're sort of sitting in his virtual chair this morning. Will you rank the NFC East quarterbacks for me?
Right now?
Yeah.
Wow. I couldn't even answer your question yesterday about Baker Mayfield and Matthew Stafford, and you want me to get a list. I'll come back to me on that one, Kay.
Sean, really? I'll say this. I think the Eagles have potential to push for a playoff spot, but Shregs, when I hear sleeping giant, I think Super Bowl contender. And all that implies to me is that we have too many people working in South Jersey on our production staff overnight. What do you think?
It was a bold question. It wasn't like, could the Eagles make the playoffs? It's sleeping giant. They're going for it. The truth of the matter is, it's not just Jalen Hurts and some of these young receivers and the Miles Sanders being so young, Kay. It's a young coaching staff. Nick Sirianni, this is the first time he's being a head coach at any level. And then you've got Shane Steichen as the offensive coordinator. You've got Jonathan Gannon, a defensive coordinator. These are not guys who have been through it all. And maybe that's a good thing to build on. Maybe that's fresh, but you go down the list, there's not that veteran coaching presence that you could see them going up against a Sean Payton or going up against an Andy Reid and saying, we're going to out-coach you just yet. So I can't wait to see this team. I'm optimistic, but our South Jersey producers that are all based in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, I think they might be a little higher on the Eagles right now for 2021 than maybe the four hosts on the show. And that's okay.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. All right.